Everybody's a winner is a mentality not uncommon among those of us in the millennial generation. We millennials, those of us born between the years of 1981 and 2000, grew up in an environment where everybody got a trophy, winners and losers, preparing us in no way for the reality of the real world, where people who deserve it get trophies and people who don't get the privilege of trying. Though I'm a millennial myself at 26 years old, these accusations, while overgeneralized of course, aren't without some foundation. According to the International Business Times, a recent study reveals that millennials will take more than 25,000 selfies during their lifetimes, up to 54 hours posing for themselves with a duck face in front of their own camera. While I've been guilty of taking a selfie or two in my life so far, I can certainly come up with more productive, less narcissistic ways to spend 54 total hours of my life. Joining me now is editorialist at Investors Business Daily and a fellow millennial, Salvador Lamastra V. Sal, do you believe our generation as a whole is that narcissistic as we're portrayed to be?
I think millennials definitely need to fire their PR manager, whoever that may be. But we definitely have that rap. I know a majority of millennials don't even like millennials, according to a recent Pew poll. But I think that, growing up in the age that we are with the new technology, smartphones, social media, our narcissism, though I think normal for our age, is definitely broadcast more than it has in other generations due to the new technology.
So you think it's more of a broadcast branding issue than really that our generation is more narcissistic? What about the generation after us, Generation Z, the kids born with the cell phones already in their hands? Do they already have that bad rap? Do they have that reputation, or did we take that and leave them with a little bit, not too much to live up to?
I think they have a lot to live up to. It'll definitely be interesting to see how Generation Z evolves when it comes to the same rep that us millennials have. But it's yet to be seen. I know a lot of younger people, my cousins, and I haven't seen that narcissism in them yet, but I think they're probably just a little too young for that.
Maybe they're so used to having that technology in their hands, seeing all the social networks and all the selfies, that it really doesn't interest them because it's not as cool to them because their parents were doing it first.
It's not as different, you're right. And I think that we also have to remember that if you look at psychology and psychiatry, they say a healthy amount of narcissism is definitely okay in your mid-20s because you're coming into your own, you're becoming more independent, you're trying to figure out who you are different from your parents and your family. And so, I think a healthy amount of narcissism is good. I think a majority of us have that, and it's just broadcast more is the only difference with the new technology.
Well, with the entitlement attitude or the narcissistic attitude, do you think Democrats like Bernie Sanders are playing into this and pushing the limits by trying to give people free everything so that they don't have to work at all, and that entitlement mentality just increases?
Exactly. And I think that's something that's going to be very interesting to watch this election, because it's not just Bernie Sanders wanting to give free stuff away. As we saw in the Democratic debate, there was a lot of free stuff offered to Americans and people who are here illegally. And I think that millennials definitely fall into that category of most Americans who want that immediate gratification, that immediate, here it is, here's something free. I'm not going to bother explaining economic policy or foreign policy or, illegal immigration. We're just going to, it's going to be free and everything's going to be okay. And so I definitely think that millennials have the innate fault in them to want to grasp onto that, just, okay, give it to me for free.
Right. And in my opinion, one thing that sets our generation, the millennial generation, apart is the fact that we've never really had anything denied to us. Even those of us who didn't have everything handed to us, we've always had the opportunity to try to be who we want to be or do what we wanted to do. We've never been in a situation where the opportunity to do anything was denied to us. And I think that fosters in our mentality that entitlement, because we don't really understand what it's like to work hard for something but have the opportunity denied to us, because the state of our economy, the state of our freedom has been fought for by previous generations, that we haven't had to be in those situations as much as others, our parents and grandparents, have in the past.